Hey everybody, welcome back to Bookrata. I want to talk about kind of the use case for Bookrata because you're going to have to change your thinking a little bit with how you use it. So let's start with a little bit of history here. Um, if you think back to the beginning of search function on the internet, so back in the day, it would have been like Ask Jeeves or Yahoo search before Google search. They were bad, right? You would type in something and it would give you the best guess of if you hadn't typed something exact, it would just guess. So over time, they've built algorithms. They collect your history. So like Google is collecting your history at all times, which improves your search functionality because it starts to learn what you are looking for and the types of things and the way that you ask certain things. But that that's been great. That's awesome now because when you search for something on Google, no matter how you type it, it's usually the first one of the first five is the thing that you were looking for or has the answer that you were looking for. That wasn't the case back in the day. You had to go through pages and pages until you found what it was you were actually looking for. There are people whose entire job is figuring out, okay, if user X types this, but that doesn't match any specific product, what is it that we're going to show them, because what do we think they actually mean, and all of that. So that's all happening in the background. We don't even notice anymore. It's so fine tuned. But the flip side of that coin is they also can manipulate you with those search algorithms to push what they want you to see first, and they make you think that it's what you're actually searching for because it pops up at the top of your search, right? So you don't really know whether that's the best answer or just the answer that your search engine wants you to think is the best answer. That happens a lot when shopping. It happens on Amazon all the time. Amazon has an algorithm that pushes sponsored items and popular items or items with lots of ratings before the actual item that you're searching for, and you cannot trust those results at all. And so how does this relate to Bookrata and what we've done? And so how do you flip the script on the way that you think about search when you're using Bookrata? If you are if you know an author or you are an author, you know that ratings are the holy grail, right? You may have an author friend who's asked you, can you go and do an Amazon rating from a book? Or maybe you've purchased something off of Amazon and the company, against Amazon policies, asked you to provide them a rating and sent you a gift card or reimbursed the purchase because the rating is so important that it's worth it to them to possibly get caught breaking the rules rather than not sell anything at all, right? So they could follow the rules and never sell a thing, or they could risk it, break the rules, pay people for reviews, and hopefully make a lot of money selling it before they get caught by Amazon. That's why all of that happens. They're trying to manipulate the Amazon algorithm, which is constantly being updated and changes to stop the manipulation. So you've got users or sellers trying to manipulate the algorithm. You've got Amazon manipulating the algorithm. And all you want is the answer to your search query. All you want is the thing that matches what you're looking for the best. But it's not actually happening. You can search the greatest book to ever be written, could be published on Amazon, and no one would ever find it or read it if it didn't have reviews or meet other things that Amazon is looking for. We wanted all of that to go away in Bookrata. We wanted to go back to pure search. We think the pros far outweigh the cons, but there are some cons to it, so let's talk about it. We'll get a little smaller here. All right. So in Bookrata, you can search for a specific book. Okay. So that one just popped up. See, and it has fuzzy logic. So even when you misspell it, it will find the book you're looking for. So you can search for specific books. But let's be honest, Bookrata does not have every book ever written in its library yet. We're working on it. We've built a system that actually can do that and handle that because it's a scalable solution. But We're not there yet. So you may find the book there or you may not. That's the thing. Bookrata isn't as much about getting the rating for the specific book you're looking for as a member. And I'll bear with me here. Bookrata is about finding the books that match your values, because there are so many books out there that you don't even know exist that are the exact thing that you want to read. They have the content that you are okay with. They have the themes and tropes and everything that you love, but you'll never hear about them because you'll never, ever, ever, no matter what you search on Amazon, they will never come up because of that algorithm. We do not manipulate our results at all. Not even a little bit. So you'll see here on the library page, we just have the list of books. You can just walk through the list of books rated in those tiers. Those are ordered in the order that they are added to the library. That's it. They're not alphabetical. They're not by popularity. They're not ad supported or anything. It's the order they were added. So you know that Big Nate Aloha was added just before Project Hail Mary. That's how straightforward it is, okay? So you can search for a book, and if that book isn't there, you may say, "Oh, but I love that author. So can we find more books by that author?" So I'm just going to use me, for example, because I know everyone loves I'm your favorite author. So you can see all the books that I've written that have been rated so far in Bookrata. So you can search that way, or you can search up here by the title. So if you typed in The Christmas Stars on Amazon, you're not going to find my book, even if it's the book that you really want to read and you're looking for. Or you met me somewhere and I said, "Hey, yeah, I've got a Christmas book. It's called The Christmas Stars. It's on Amazon." You go home, you search for it, you won't find it. So 2 ways to search. The secret sauce, the magic of Bookrata, is that recognizing that you don't know what you don't know. So as you go through, and no matter who the author is, you have a set of values that you don't want to violate. So your favorite author might write your favorite series, and then they go and write another series that you hate because it has content that you're not okay with, right? So our presumption, our assertion is that the baseline in searching for a book should be, this is content that I am comfortable reading. So once that baseline is set, then you start searching for the book, the story that matches. So as you're moving these filters, you can see they're live. It's live filtering. These things are happening live as you're searching. So now you've set exactly what you want. You can now go through and scroll through. This will become harder as we added more and more books, just because there'll be so many. But right now you could just say, "Oh, okay, let's scroll through. There's only 2 pages of 3.5s. Or you can start adding tags. Nothing in those criteria has that tag, so let's try the popular. Let's try. There's a lot of romance out there. Do we have a sports romance? This is how fine-tuned Bookrata is. You can find all... a spanking romance. That's interesting. Okay, sports romance. No books matching those filters. But what if we added a little... changed our filtering criteria a little bit. We found a book that falls under sports romance at a 3.5. Have you ever heard of Kate Nolan before? Maybe you have. Maybe you're her biggest fan. But I haven't. So now suddenly there's a book that matches your values, has the tag that you are interested in. Let's try this. Interesting. Oh, it's the overall tier that's coming. Okay, so we go up to 4. Suddenly we have some more sports romances popping up here. All right, so it's not about searching for a specific book, although you can do that. It's about finding the books that you don't know exist that you want to read, because we don't manipulate the search function. Okay, but yeah, Marcus, but there's this book that my friends are suggesting to me and I really want to read it. So that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's remember one of these, The Wild Card by Stephanie Archer. So if you go to free web search, you can search for any book out there. So as you can see from the warnings here, the issue here is that this is pulling information from the web, right? So it's going to take a little bit of time. If the book hasn't already been searched for by someone else, it will take a little bit of time because it is combing the web to find every review, comment, Reddit thread, Instagram comment posts, everything that's out there publicly, aggregating it together, running it through our algorithm, and then spitting out a rating. So it's only as good as the information that is out there, but it's a great glance. At a glance, you can search for any book that's out there. Now, as soon as we get the results on this book, the next person who searches for this book, it'll pop right up because it's now in our database. So you'll see the wild card, and it gives you this brief overview of what it's like. And so maybe you were talking to a friend, and a friend said, hey, I heard about this book. A friend told me about this book. I'm interested in reading it. You want to read it with me? Let's add it to our book club. So you look it up and you say, whoa, it's a foreign language and a 5 in sex. I don't really want to read that for the book club. Share that with your friend. Hey, maybe we want to rethink this. This is in the book audit, but take a look at this rating here, right? So overall 4.5, 4.53. So let's log in. Stephanie, right? Stephanie. Was it this one, the wild card? No, it wasn't this one. But anyway, if it's in there, you can find that there too. I don't remember which one I just searched for. Let's try this. Sports romance. Maybe it was this one. But here it has, because this rating is based on the actual text of the book and not on just comments and threads and reviews, it's going to be more accurate. So if it was a 4 there in the web rating and it's showing a 5 here, that means that as people are talking about it online, they're downplaying it a little bit. The most accurate rating you're going to get is as a member inside the library, because it rates it against the text only. There's no human bias. There's no manipulation. It's just the rating system run against the text of the book. So that's just we hope that as you're looking at Bookrata, and if you ask yourself the question, why should I join Bookrata when it doesn't have 100,000 books yet? The answer to that question is really simple, because it has books that you don't know that could be your next favorite author, your next favorite book. That the guarantee is that you're going to find books that match your values, because you're setting that baseline of content filters before you even pick the book. So if you care about the content that you read and that's important to you, and you are sick of having to read the same old authors over and over and over again, Bookrata, we've kind of gone back in time with modern sensibilities, back to just giving you the results you search for and not manipulating. So there you go. Hope that helps kind of frame your reference of what Bookrata does and why it is so powerful. And we'll catch you next time. Check out our other videos if you want to know more, or shoot us a comment, ask a question. Love to answer that or make a video on it.